Let's have a look at the exercise 2.17. I actually didn't prepare for this exercise, even though I have done this exercise before. I want to show you my authentic thinking along with you when doing this exercise. So first thing is to analyze the data that the original sheet provided. So for this exercise, there are two sheets involved. One is called costs and the other called bill. And first, let's have a look at the costs sheet. So the cost sheet has the car, and it's 5.3 a night without knowing the currency. I guess if it's not provided, probably not important. Caravan 8.75, tent 4.5, adults €5. Yeah, now I'm saying euros, but it's not provided. Everything is calculated per night, except power is 5 each PowerPoint a night. So each PowerPoint a night. So there are two variables here. And the VAT is 17.5%, which is still this low. And if you stay more than 7 nights, you get 10% discount. So these are the only information the cost sheet provides. And let's have a look at the bill sheet. These look strange, probably common when you have a shorter length of the cell than the content of the cell, especially for numbers. So to solve this problem, you just need to enlarge this cell, and then you see it's a date. And here, the yellow marked range are the range that we need to fill the answers in. So first thing is the duration of the stay. So apparently we're talking about a stay somewhere, and it involves the cars, caravan, and tent, and also differs in price by the number of the people and also the category of the people, and power or not, and then calculation with everything. So first, let's do C9. Duration of the stay should be a count of how many days the visitor stays. This is easy, so you need to use the date of departure minus the date of arrival, 2 days. And if you change the date to 29, for example, it changes. So that works. That's one thing solved. Next thing, when we have a car and the number of cars is 1, we want to know how much we should pay. How much we should pay depends on what type of the category is and how many, and also how many nights. First, we need to find out how much for a car per night should be paying. If you want to find the information from the other sheets, you should know by now we should use VLOOKUP. So let's use VLOOKUP. The lookup value should always be from the current sheet, should be from the input, not from the sheet that contains the output. So now we're looking for the car, and where we are looking for is in the cost sheet. We should start selecting from where the input is and end with at least include where the output is. You can also end a little bit further, but we don't need that. So we end here. And column index number, so where is our output, is column number 2 in the selected range. And the range lookup should be exact match. When we look for a car, we should find the car, not caravan, even though the starting 3 letters are the same. So we should choose exact match, enter. 5.3. It looks right, but not exactly. So we still have one last element to add, is how many nights. So this one. Yes. So for one car, 2 nights, we need to pay 10.6. And if you figure that, oh, actually everything downwards, all these 4 different cells, you can actually use the same formula, but we need to add something. For example, A13, we can let it move downwards, no problem, so we don't need $ to lock it. But A3 to B8 from the other sheet, we want to make sure that range stays there. So in this case, since we only moving downwards, we to lock only. So $ before the row number, and since we are moving only downwards, the column won't change, so we don't add the extra $ there. As you can remember, if you add extra $, if you have more things than necessary, you lose half of the points. C9, again, it's locking the row, and here we go. And we can easily copy it downwards to here, and suddenly we have all the information for all these cells until row 17. The next one could be tricky because now we need to compare whether it's yes or no for the power. So for the PowerPoint, is per PowerPoint a night is 5, and we need to first see whether they are using PowerPoints or not. Could be that this family do not need any power, so there's nothing to be paid there. So when we have conditions, say if yes, we pay, if no, we don't pay, then you should think, okay, now it's time to use the if function. Logical test. What do we need to compare? So just now the VLOOKUP function, the input is here, but now for the if, the input is here. We need to see whether this cell contains the value yes or no. In this case, the yes is written there, so we cannot select the same cell, say if B18 is B18, then what will happen? Because B18 is always B18. That doesn't make sense. So if we don't have our input from a already established cell, we should type it in. So when type it in, you should use the quotation marks. Be careful, do not use the apostrophe. And for example, if you type 2 apostrophes, it looks like a quotation mark, but Excel won't recognize it. You should always type in the quotation mark. So if B18 is yes, then the value, if true, should mean now we need to pay. How many PowerPoints, we don't know. Let's assume it's 1. There's only 1 because there's nowhere else mentioned there are more than 1. even though here it's each PowerPoint, so there's some info missing. But it's fine. 5. And if not, remember, if you want to switch to a different sheet, you should always put the semicolon first so you can go back to your original sheet. So if yes, we pay 5, and if not, we pay 0. So the selection of this sheet is not necessary. We just type in 0. There's something else. Not only that we pay 5, but we pay 5 per night. So for this part, we also need to add the duration of the stay. Here we go. The power, the amount to be paid for the power is calculated. Now, excluding VAT, how much should it be? That's just a simple sum, I assume, and a discount. So under what circumstances will we receive a discount? Do you remember? In the last sheet, we see that here, if the stay is more than 7 nights, then you get 10% discount. Even though we know we're staying only for 2 nights, but still it's possible that this input would change. You want this cell to still be able to work if the input is different. So we want to compare first whether the stay is shorter than 7 nights. Then we can continue to define does the customer receive a discount or not. First, if the stay is more than 7 days, and the 7 is there already, 7. So you see here it says more than, so not including 7 days. That's why we don't add the equal sign here. And value if true, if it's more than 7 days, 10% of discount. If not, 0. Okay, let's enter. Discount in this case is 0. Let's try if we have a stay of more than 7 days, whether the discount will be changing. Yes, it's changing, but now we found the problem. How come the discount is only 0.1? Because we said here the 10% should be the discount, but we didn't say that it's 10% of what. So let's move back, and we actually missing something here. That's why very important also for your exam. You should always test it to see all the cells are working or not. So in this case, no problem, but actually we have a problem with the formula, just it won't show under this circumstance. So this one, if yes, 10%, we have to define it's not only 10%, but 10% of the amount to be paid in total. Here we go. And if we test it again, then we see, okay, we receive 10% of discount if we live there for more than 7 days. Let's move back. Total amount excludes the VAT. Now it's apparently it's this one minus the discount amount. And the VAT, this would be a simple calculation. Total amount times the VAT percentage mentioned in the cost cells here. And the total amount, it's just a simple calculation. We need to add them up. Yes, this is everything, but let's compare to the answers and see whether it's correct. So let's go to the instruction and step D. We have to change it for more than 7 nights. The example here given is to 6 August 1996. Okay, let's change to that. 6 August 1996. 14 days, 7.2. Okay, almost everything is the same, but we still missing some figures. For example, this one is different and this one is different. Let's see what went wrong. So here, when we try to calculate the total amount for a car, we actually forget something. What did we forget? Is the number of the cars, the amount of the cars. As I said before, I want to be authentic, so I didn't prepare for this exercise. I just think along with you. And here we have a problem. And lucky for us, we have this sheet to compare to. And in the exam, you will also have this sheet with at least one result you can compare to. And there is your opportunity to find the mistake. Where is the mistake? It's here. In this case, no problem because this amount times 1 will still be this amount. But later on, when it's 0, we'll still be charged. When it's 2, it's not doubled. So we have a serious problem here. So quickly fix that amount, and these amounts should also be restrained to the row. The row should not move. Let's copy this from here to here. Oh, another mistake. Oh God, it's not good. Maybe I should resign. Okay. Think positive, delete the mistake, and run it again. Yes. When comparing to the instruction, we found out this is exactly the number we were looking for. And the next step is to change the date to 25th of July, but that's actually what we were starting with, so that step we can skip. In summary, don't be scared of this type of exercise or exam. In the exam, you will have a similar scenario, but there's always a different scenario. This time it's about staying somewhere overnight. Could be the engine oil of the airplane, could be the salary administration of a company, could be the enterprise resources. So there are many other scenarios, but all down to VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, and if functions and simple functions we studied in chapter 1. So just do it one by one, think logically. This is not type of the course that we can memorize the answer and say this is the way to do it, copy it and do it again. No, there's always a different scenario, and there are many pitfalls that we can, intentionally or unintentionally, that just happens. But again, you always should compare to the sheet, the example provided in the exam, so you can check whether the result of the selected scenario is the same as what's screenshotted on the paper. That's exercise 2.17. I hope it's helpful because it's quite the same as the real exam. For the real exam, you can have another reference, which is chapter 5 on your syllabus. Practice with the Excel part on chapter 5 on your syllabus, then you will have a clear idea of how the exam will be looking like. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.